Are we about to see a second Tesla factory have to close? As war continues in Ukraine, European states are left contemplating their Russian imports. Germany imports around 40 to 50% of its gas from Russia, so shutting off imports would definitely mean the society and the economy taking a huge hit. Quite reasonably, the gas will be prioritized for hospitals and schools, etc. And although we're progressing towards summer, so residential heating is less of a concern, commercial operators such as Tesla could be forced to cease operation. Giga Berlin is set up to rely on natural gas for around 60% of its operations. From the gigapress to the paint shops, gas is used for all kinds of things. So at best, the cost of that raw material is going to continue to climb, and that will start to put pressure on Tesla's Apple-style 30% margins. After it ramps up, Giga Berlin is expected to produce around 500,000 cars per year, and after raising prices on the Model 3 by €7,000 recently, a forced closure and subsequent delay of the production line optimization is definitely not what Elon nor the team are looking for. When it comes to China, we simply have no news on Giga Shanghai. It remains closed as daily COVID cases hit 23,000 in the city. That said, communities that have zero new cases will begin to see lockdowns ease in the coming days, so we'll keep you updated as production comes back online. What is happening to the Rivian stock price? Following up on their 10K filing in which Rivian announced they may never be profitable, the share price has taken a tumble. Looking at the year-to-date value, the stock has lost 62%, and that's after delivery started. So should we be worried? For now, I don't think so. Rivian delivered 2,553 vehicles in Q1, which puts them nicely on track to hit their target of 25,000 for 2022. Of that 2,500, roughly half were delivered before the quarter closed. One important takeaway is that production appears to be constrained by component shortages and raw mineral shortages rather than difficulties with the production and manufacturing process. During the Q1 earnings call, CEO RJ Scaringe told investors, "Were it not for supply constraints, we're confident we could achieve in excess of 50,000 vehicles this year." But the stock market appears pretty fickle with EV startups. It's worth remembering there is no end of demand for Rivian's R1T truck and R1S SUV. The company is said to have over 70,000 pre-orders of the R1T alone, and I'd expect them to deliver more than 50,000 units in 2023 as production lines are optimized and parts become more widely available again. I'd also imagine that price increases are inevitable unless normality in Europe is restored. So if you're considering a Rivian, it might be a good time to join that waiting list. Join it sooner rather than later. Trust me, I've been on the fence for the Tesla Model Y long enough to have seen its price go up by 26%. And counting. In other news, GM and Honda are getting the band back together. The dream of a widely produced EV that's affordable to the masses may finally be on the horizon. Whilst Tesla is busy trying to build its Semi, Cybertruck, and Roadster, GM and Honda have teamed up to build a series of sub-$30,000 vehicles. Whilst more affordable electric vehicles are essential to increasing the rate of non-petrol powered adoption, this gives me the impression that neither Honda nor GM are really all that committed to EVs just yet. Sure, creating a shared platform will save costs, but it definitely implies that neither company want to or believe they can create a solid EV range. GM Chair and CEO Mary Barra said, "GM and Honda will share our best technology, design and manufacturing strategies to deliver affordable and desirable EVs on a global scale, including our key markets in North America, South America, and China." Now, Honda is already committed to using the GM platform for 2 electric SUVs set to launch in 2024, but they will continue to use the competitor's platform for at least a further 3 years. Now, I had always assumed that legacy car makers were able to assemble en masse across the globe, but it sounds like this is a way to reduce factory construction costs by sharing common components and platforms across 2 very different companies. If I'm honest, I don't see how this is beneficial for the Japanese company long term. Honda continued to be committed to creating their own EV platform after the GM partnered cars roll off the production line. And it's not like Honda is an unknown brand in the US. They sell around 1 million cars per year in the US alone, and Honda have an existing market share of 8%. So would this partnership help increase that? Who knows? But if it's a way for us to get sub $30,000 electric cars, then I'm all about it. And lastly today, Toyota is going to lose its EV tax credit. Joining Tesla and GM, Toyota enters the growing club of automakers who no longer qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. Unlike Tesla, Toyota have reached the 200,000 unit threshold through the sale of plug-in hybrid vehicles such as the Prius and RAV4 Prime variants. This may have been a mistake. Using their tax credits on cars that offer a measly 42 miles range on battery alone has put Toyota in this awkward position of having to transition to full battery-powered cars with more expensive battery packs, whilst no longer being able to offer purchasers the tax credits. Based on current sales trends, June 2022, Toyota will hit that limit, and by the end of 2023, those incentives will be reduced to 0. The now seemingly defeated Build Back Better bill had provisions to extend the $7,500 credit to brands through 2026. Stellantis and GM and Ford qualify for an additional $4,500 due to operating union collective bargaining agreements. The boost for union plants is a point of contention for some, and it's hard to really see it as any more than a cheap political decision. If these tax credits are to encourage the adoption of more environmentally conscious vehicles, it seems odd to make the playing field uneven, but I guess that's just how lobbying works here. For example, Tesla pays above the union hourly rates and is quoted as stating their factories have a 2x safety factor over their competitors, yet they wouldn't qualify for the additional credit because of politics, which seems legit. The Build Back Better plan was passed by the House of Representatives, but progress halted upon reaching Congress due to primarily lacking the support of Jim Manchin of West Virginia. Unfortunately, we have no more news on the Build Back Better bill, whether it will progress, or we'll see these electric vehicles incentives included in other bills down the line. It's worth remembering it is an election year, so there's always a chance that something will be released closer to November that might have good news for us or will be killed off entirely post the election. We'll just have to wait and see. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, leave a comment and a like, it would be most appreciated, and I'll see you later in the week as we talk through preparations for a rather epic road trip.